First contact. In the cold silence of deep space, the Artemis Dawn drifted peacefully toward the uncharted sectors beyond the Vega Line. A civilian colony ship, it carried 3,200 passengers, scientists, families, engineers, and a dream. Earth's dream. A second home, a new beginning. The Artemis was not a warship. Its hull gleamed with reflective solar plating. Its engines hummed with soft ion propulsion. And its onboard AI, named Hope, guided its course with gentle precision. A human child's laughter echoed in one of the hallways, captured by the internal comm system as families settled in for the journey. It was by all definitions a ship of peace. That was why the attack came without warning. They emerged from hyperspace in a crescent formation, sleek, black, organic-looking vessels bristling with violet plasma ports. No hail, no warnings, no scans, just silence, then blinding light. One strike, two, 100. The colony ship's shields, designed to deflect meteor debris, not military-grade plasma, gave way in seconds. The bridge erupted in alarms. Captain Alina Kor screamed for evasive maneuvers, but the navigation thrusters were already crippled. Decks decompressed. Lives vanished. In the final moments, Hope broadcast a wideband distress signal, piggybacking on old Alliance frequencies, just in case someone was listening. On Earth, someone was. Ambassador Liana Reyes stood in the center of the United Human Embassy in Luna's diplomatic district, her hands clenched behind her back. The message had arrived 7 hours ago. No survivors. The Artemis Dawn had been destroyed en route to Kepler 186F, a sector recently mapped and claimed by the Xelari Dominion. Now, that same Dominion denied any involvement. They're calling it a navigational error, General Armitage growled beside her. Claim our ship entered restricted space. It was a civilian ship, Liana said, voice even. They slaughtered our people. She had read the transcripts. The final seconds of the transmission played over and over in her mind. A child's voice, terrified, crying, "Why are they shooting at us?" It wasn't the first time Earth had been brushed aside by the galactic powers. Humanity was the newcomer, barely a century into faster-than-light travel. Though tenacious and clever, humans were still considered pre-integrated, an untested civilization. Too volatile, too loud, too new. Now, they were grieving. President Okonkwo had called for calm. The Security Council debated retaliation. But Liana Reyes asked for something else, an audience. Send me to the Galactic Council, she had said. Not with threats, with truth. And they had agreed. The Galactic Council convened on Xelari, a moon city orbiting a gas giant wreathed in emerald storms. Species from over 100 star systems held court in the spiraling halls of the Arcadium, tall, crystalline towers that pulsed with psionic energy and political tension. As she walked through the corridor toward the main chamber, Reyes felt every eye on her. A bipedal predator in a room of apex survivors. Her tailored suit, dark and sharp-lined, made her look smaller, more human than the others, deliberately so. The Xelari delegation waited at the high dais. Their lead noble, arch-strategist Threx, flicked a segmented eyelid and coiled his silken robe tighter. "You may speak, Terran," he said, voice smooth and laced with disinterest. Liana stepped forward. A hush fell across the council. She placed a small holographic projector on the stand and pressed her finger to it. A blue figure shimmered to life. A girl, no older than 6, clutched a plush animal to her chest. "They're shooting at us," she screamed, tears streaking down her cheeks. "Why? Why are they?" The image flickered, froze. Liana's voice, steady as stone, filled the silence. That was the voice of Emma Kalin, age 6. She was one of over 3,000 civilians aboard the Artemis Dawn. A peaceful mission to establish a colony in the Kepler sector. No weapons, no military, only people. "You attacked our home." Murmurs erupted through the chamber. Some species recoiled. Others narrowed their eyes, calculating. The Xelari barely moved. Threx hissed. "Your colony ship violated protected Dominion space. We followed protocol." "No," Liana said, raising her gaze. You followed habit. You dismissed us. You saw a fragile species and didn't care if you broke it. A long pause followed. No one interrupted her. Not yet. She took a breath. We're not here to beg for justice. We are here to tell you, the days of burning our ships and calling it an accident are over. Earth will not forget, and we will not stand alone. For a heartbeat, the galaxy listened. And then, for the first time in memory, the Xelari Dominion felt something new. Doubt. Declaration. The Grand Council chamber on Xelari was designed to humble. Colossal obsidian pillars reached toward a ceiling alive with starlight projections. 1,000 voices murmured in dozens of tongues, layered together like a cosmic storm. Species from across the galaxy sat in tiered circles. Elders, warlords, technocrats, hive minds, all orbiting the central speaker's platform like moons around a flame. Ambassador Liana Reyes stood at its center, alone. Humanity's first formal address to the Galactic Council would not be remembered for its grandeur. No fleet hung in orbit behind her. No allies stood by her side. Only a flickering projection disk and a simple message carried on grief and steel. Threx of the Xelari Dominion loomed from the upper dais, his robes dripping with royal authority, his 6 eyes half-lidded with contempt. Beside him, representatives of the Vasai Swarm, the Euralia Accord, and the crystalline Authari Empire observed with wary silence. No one expected much from the Terrans. They expected less than what came next. Reyes didn't begin with words. She activated the projector. The image was small, raw, grainy footage from inside the Artemis Dawn. A father holding his daughter, close as klaxons, blared in the background. A teacher shielding her students. A pilot screaming for control as the screen shook with light. Then came the voice again. That same little girl. Emma, they're shooting at us. Why? Why are they shooting? The chamber fell into a hush so complete that even the machines paused. Liana let the silence linger. When she spoke, her voice was clear, deliberate, and utterly unshaken. Emma Kalin, age 6, one of 3,200 people aboard the Artemis Dawn, a civilian ship en route to a colony world. No weapons, no escorts, just families, scientists, engineers, dreamers. Her gaze swept across the tiers. Some delegates avoided her eyes. Others watched, rapt. She died screaming, wondering why someone would kill her. She turned to Threx. Your fleet destroyed that ship. You claim it was a mistake, that we violated restricted space. But we both know the truth. Your patrols attacked first, without scan, without warning. Because to the Xelari, humans are still insects, beneath notice, easy to crush. Threx rose slowly. His segmented face twitched. Ambassador Reyes, the Dominion regrets the loss of life. However, the vessel entered. I am not finished. Gasps rippled through the council. To interrupt a high noble of the Xelari, especially in public, was diplomatic heresy. Reyes didn't flinch. She pointed to the hollow image again. You did not attack a ship. You attacked our home, a floating piece of Earth carrying everything we cherish. And now we answer. Threx bared his fangs. Are you declaring war? No, she said. I'm declaring truth. We came to this council seeking peace, recognition, a seat at the table. You offered silence, then blood. So now we offer you something else, clarity. She stepped forward, her voice rising, not in anger but resolve. Humanity will not be ignored again. We will not fade into the dark because ancient empires are too proud to learn our names. We are not asking for your approval. We are building, preparing. And if the stars demand our voice be heard through force, so be it. A low rumble began, not from Reyes but from the crowd. Whispers, shock, uncertainty. The Vasai Swarm Queen tilted her triangular head thoughtfully. The Euralia ambassador blinked 3 times, calculating. Even the Authari envoy shifted, murmuring to his neural node. Threx sneered. You come into this chamber, slander our honor, threaten retaliation, and you expect us to take your primitive species seriously? Reyes gave him a smile, not warm, but dangerous in its calm. You mistake grief for weakness. You mistake restraint for fear. That ends now. She pressed a final button on the projector. New images bloomed in the air. Earth's orbital yards lit up with construction, Martian shipyards humming with activity, asteroid refineries pouring out alloys. Massive engines, new warship designs, AI tactical cores. Civilian networks turned to unified command. The entire galaxy watched as humanity, once scattered and uncertain, turned their industry toward one goal: preparation. This is not a declaration of war, Reyes said, her voice quiet now. This is a warning. She paused, then concluded. We will not vanish. We will not kneel. The next time a Terran ship is fired upon, it will not die alone. The silence returned. But this time it wasn't contempt. It was fear. And somewhere in that silence, the balance of the galaxy shifted, just slightly, toward Earth. The gathering storm. The stars over Earth had never looked so quiet. From her office aboard the orbital platform Unity Station, Liana Reyes watched the docked fleets grow day by day. Gray steel titans stretching across the void, their hulls bristling with potential. The slow, methodical pulse of construction lights reflected on the reinforced glass, steady as a heartbeat. Earth was awakening. 4 more corvettes came online this week, said Commander Yel Mendez, her military liaison. He handed her a data slate. 12 more in the Mars yards. The AI project in the belt just completed Phase 2. Tactical coordination net is stabilizing. Reyes nodded, though her thoughts were elsewhere. Beneath the numbers, behind the growing power, lay the simple truth. They hadn't wanted this. The Artemis Dawn was meant to plant hope. Now Earth prepared for war, not conquest, but survival. I assume the Council's watching, she asked. Every move, Mendez replied grimly. Xelari broadcasts are calling us warmongers. Some of the other powers are starting to echo that. But not all. That was true. Beneath the galactic noise, something else was stirring. The Xelari, the aquatic diplomats from the Azure Tides, had quietly reached out. No official alliance, but they offered high-grade shielding technology and cloaking protocols. The insectoid Darnathi, whose colonies had long suffered under Xelari taxation, began leaking strategic fleet data through anonymous channels. Small things, quiet gestures, but to Reyes, they were louder than any speech. She turned back to the stars. Show me the final transmission again. Mendez hesitated. Liana, I need to see it. He gave a short nod, and the room dimmed. The hologram bloomed between them. Emma Kalin, holding her stuffed lion, ducking under a console as the ship rocked around her. Screams, fire, static, and that question again. Why are they shooting at us? The image flickered out. Mendez exhaled. It gets me every time. Reyes didn't speak for a long moment. Then, we discovered something new. The Artemis wasn't just a colony ship. There was a prototype relay core aboard, experimental FTL beacon tech. It would have cut communication lag with Kepler by over 80%. He stared. We kept that classified. We did. But the Xelari knew. Their patrol intercepted a prior signal burst. They didn't just attack because we entered restricted space. They attacked to keep us contained. Mendez's jaw clenched. They didn't just kill our people. They killed a path forward. She nodded. Now we build another. At Luna Command, across shifting time zones and tired faces, humanity coordinated in a way it never had before. Earth, Mars, the Belt, once competitive powers, now functioned as a single, agile system. Old rivalries were set aside. Every orbital platform, every mining rig, every quantum lab bent its focus toward one thing: readiness. Civilian ships were refitted as scouts. Fusion engines were scaled down for strike fighters. Orbital cranes worked without pause. On Ceres, children painted murals of the Artemis Dawn with tiny stars around its name. Grief had become fuel. And under the guidance of Reyes and the Defense Council, the fire was carefully, deliberately directed. Still, the pressure mounted. In the outer colonies, protests erupted. Some wanted vengeance. Others feared escalation. Reyes met it with a singular message. We do not build to destroy. We build so they cannot destroy us. She also issued a universal call. To the civilizations silenced by fear, dominated by strength, I say this: there is another way. Stand with us, and we stand together. And some answered. The Darnathi hive sent a diplomat. The Xelari emissary made an unannounced stop at Luna and delivered a cube of harmonic encryption keys. Even a rogue Daxari merchant lord, long exiled from the trade routes, began shipping rare metals to Earth under assumed identities. The galaxy had always belonged to the old powers. But now, something new was forming, an alliance not of empires, but of memory, survival, and defiance. Late at night, Liana Reyes received an encrypted message. No sender ID, but the voice, gravelly, laced with static, was clear. "They're moving a fleet," the alien voice whispered. "A real one, not a patrol. 6 dreadnoughts, 30 support ships, scheduled near Sol in 3 weeks." Reyes responded with only 2 words: "Thank you." Then she turned back to her window, with a growing armada of Earth shimmered like a promise. If the Empire thought the first message had been a warning, the next would be something else entirely. A response: when fire meets fire. 3 weeks later, they arrived, just as the warning said they would. 6 Xelari dreadnoughts slipped into the edge of the Sol system beneath the veil of dark space. 30 supporting cruisers followed, each one a predator wrapped in obsidian armor, bristling with plasma arrays and quantum disruptors. No flags, no comms, no diplomacy. It was not a message. It was an execution. On board Unity Station, the command center pulsed with urgent light. The tactical interface lit up in red as orbital sensors triangulated enemy warp signatures. "They're not cloaked anymore," said Commander Mendez. "They want us to see them." Ambassador Reyes stood at the center of the command deck, still wearing the navy blue diplomatic suit she'd worn to the Galactic Council. Her voice was low, unshaken. "Then let them see us." The Earth Defense Fleet moved like a wall of rising steel. Over 200 ships, newly forged cruisers, agile corvettes, retrofitted haulers turned into flak screens. The Vigilant, Earth's first true dreadnought, led the formation. Its hull was not elegant like the Xelari. It was angular, bold, human. Mendez spoke into the comms, voice like steel over the void. "All stations lock vectors. Deflectors active. Engage silent protocols. No one fires unless they do." No one wanted war, but no one would flee it, either. The tension stretched across space like a drawn bowstring. On the view screen, the Xelari fleet loomed larger, coalescing into a crescent formation, an ancient tactic meant to encircle and overwhelm. Reyes narrowed her eyes. "They're expecting fear." Mendez nodded. "They'll get fire." On the Xelari command vessel Threx Talon, Arch-strategist Threx watched the Terran defense screen with mild amusement. Primitive engines, conventional drive signatures, lacking in organic integration. He had crushed better fleets in the Varnex uprising with half his current force. "Begin encirclement," he ordered, his voice a hiss of satisfaction. "We break them in one strike. Let the galaxy see their bones." "Wait," said his second-in-command, glancing up from his sensor node. "There's a distortion." Threx turned sharply. The stars near the Terran fleet flickered, and then fractured. Emerging from behind Earth's largest moon, 10 cloaked ships dropped from stealth, shimmering into view like ghosts. Not Terran designs. Darnathi insectoid warpods. Xelari wave scouts. Even an Athari glass ship, its hull glittering like a prism. They weren't alone. Humanity had allies. On Unity Station, a cheer erupted as the Allied ships fell into formation beside Earth's fleet. Mendez slammed a fist on the console. "By God, they came." Reyes simply smiled. They heard the truth, and chose it. The comms crackled. A soft, aquatic voice filtered through. "Xelari. Terran lead, we stand by your side." Harmonic net initialized. Link uplink secured. Moments later, the Darnathi joined in, their speech clicking through translated rhythm. Enemy marked. Coordinates synced. Swarm formation ready. A final message chimed in, unencrypted, from the Athari vessel, for the silenced. Earth's fleet shifted, tightened, synced to new command relays. AI coordination systems spun up in tandem with alien harmonics. Ships once built for separate purposes now moved as one. A single line. A wall. Reyes looked to Mendez. Hold the line. He gave a single nod. Weapons armed. Shields up. Targeting active. Then the Xelari opened fire. The first wave of plasma lit up space like a second sun. Earth's fleet didn't retreat. It moved fast, deliberate. Human ships took the brunt, shields flaring. But as they absorbed the assault, Allied ships flanked. Thessari wave scouts darted between dreadnoughts, seeding harmonic disruptors. Darnathi pods dove at enemy engines, carving through hulls like fangs. And then the Vigilant fired. Its main cannon, an experimental mass driver, punched through a Xelari cruiser in a single blast, scattering molten debris into the void. A cheer rippled through the calms. "Enemy cruiser down," came the shout. The Athari glass ship shimmered, then split into mirrored projections. The Xelari fired wildly, unable to track the true vessel. Missiles flew, lasers hissed, and still the line held. Reyes stood at the command deck, watching the board shift from red to yellow, then yellow to green. Humanity's fleet, once untested, was doing the impossible. Not surviving. Winning. 3 hours later, silence returned. Of the 30 Xelari support ships, only 9 limped away into retreat. 2 dreadnoughts remained, crippled, drifting, and for the first time in recorded history, a major Xelari war fleet had been repelled. Reyes stared out at the debris field, the shattered husks of arrogance and assumption. Mendez turned to her, expression fierce with pride. "We did it." "No," she said quietly. "We did it." Earth hadn't just stood its ground. It had declared itself, with fire, with unity, with unbreakable purpose. And across the galaxy, systems watched and whispered the new truth. Humanity had arrived.